Like my dad always said, he always would say to me, if a frog had wings, Jay, he wouldn't bump his ass when he hopped.
All right, welcome back.
Welcome back.
Episode 3 of Two in a Blue. I am Steve.
I am John Flounder.
All right, dude. We got a lot to talk about.
Yes.
You got two in a blue.
I did get two in a blue. I did. I got laid off. Which is it's common in our industry. It's something that comes along. I will say I won't get into extreme detail. I was blindsided by this one. It is what it is. It happens in this industry. But what I'd like to really touch on is how it makes you feel when you get laid off.
Yeah, I think it's really important, yeah.
Because it's a punch in the gut, no matter what. Whether you know it's coming, you don't know it's coming, it is a punch in the gut. And you worry about what your next job is and where it's coming to. Fortunately, I've had a pretty good reputation with work and everything. So when I call the hall and put my name in on the out of work list, because of my certifications and the work I've done and my CDL license, I get called out again pretty quickly, and that's what happens. So I'm actually going back to work with the company on Monday. Looking forward to it. They do gas work. I'll be following behind the gas crews doing asphalt patches. So yeah, but like, getting laid off, man, you sit there, you're like, shit, it's the middle of summer, it's the busy season, I should be working, and fortunately for me, I think you made the comment, I fell up. So I kind of fell up into a company that has a lot of work for a couple years. So hopefully I'm there for a couple of years.
Yeah, you don't always fall down. Sometimes you fall up.
Yeah, sometimes you fall up. Yeah, so
I worked with a guy named Mark. Gave me that one.
That's actually a good one.
Keep it in the holster for a while.
Yeah, I like that one.
Do you feel like because you don't get pats on the back, no one, you don't even have time to appreciate your work most of the time. You kind of have to like talk yourself up. Mm-hmm. Just to be in there mentally.
Sure.
You have to take pride in your own work.
Yes.
So when you do that, like a byproduct of that is just naturally kind of talking yourself up. Like me personally, like I even have fictitious conversations that people are having about me about how good of a job I'm doing sometimes.
Right.
Yeah. Like no way I'm getting laid off this year.
Right.
And even when you do see it coming 2 months ahead of time, it still hurts because you want to be.
You want to be working.
You want to feel like you're better than that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So it is it is tough, but it is good you got right back out there, man.
Yeah. So I got.
Don't know who they're fucking with, bro.
Right. It's like
two in a blue, dude.
It's like putting like fucking AJ Brown out there on the market. I'm like the hottest free agent out there.
Come on. We got tens of followers.
That's right. Tens of followers. I mean, somebody's gonna pick me up.
Yeah. Fuck, man. All right, dude. What's the dumbest thing you've seen this week?
So for a company I'm going back to work for, I had to take some certification classes. I actually got a text from from Stock Up, the little deli, the people that own it. He texted me. He's like, "Hey, you still over there taking classes?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Well, they got a truck here for a delivery of gas pipe, and this guy has no idea where to go." So here I am. I'm not even on the payroll yet, texting the super and the general manager, "Hey, you guys got a truck here." So he tells me, "All right, it's got to go to Second Road." I'm like, "Okay, I don't know what you want me to do about it." And I'm like, "Do you want me to take care of it?" He's like, "Yeah." I just started laughing. Now I know the guy.
Yeah.
I've known him for years.
Vic?
We work together doing guardrail, and that's just the way he is. He's like, "Yeah, go ahead and do it. I don't give a shit," because we've been friends for many years. He tells me I don't care if it wasn't on the payroll or not. But I thought it was funny. He's like, his guy is the guy that's teaching me the classes, doing the all the assignments. He's like, "You're gonna go do it?" I'm like, "I guess." so yeah, that was my, I would say, dumbest thing I've had to experience this week.
That's perfect.
How about you?
So yeah, I it's been circulating a lot. The misspelled sign in Philadelphia.
Yes.
Let's
Central
take a look.
Philly. Yeah.
So if you guys remember the Cotman Avenue exit that caught on fire a few months ago from that oil tanker, they're done fixing it now, and this is the sign they put up here. Like, the amount of people that had to go into this process to sign off on the sign, make the sign, transport it, install the sign off on the install, and everybody was okay with the way that Central is spelled right here. I don't understand how this happens, guys.
All right, I hope you just watch this video because I do have a good response for this. Fuck you is the first one because you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Like, is it misspelled? Yes, it is. So it is. Okay, so for one,
Wasn't expecting that.
all right, so one, every time I look at this video or a video of this, I've been seeing this a lot. Central looks to me spelled correctly.
It looks to me
and then
spelled
when I
correctly, too,
blink and take a second look, it's like, holy shit, it is spelled wrong. That's one. Two, they fucking fixed this thing that was basically a natural disaster that like blocked 95 north like traffic bad like around. They fixed this thing in no time. Okay.
Yeah, what was that? That was like 24 hours, wasn't it? Something crazy
It was
like
something
that.
crazy, like a week. It was. I mean, they got it done and got it working and up to like stability.
It was temporary, but yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Until they can figure out how they're
Yeah.
going to put in the exit and stuff again. Okay, so what did the state? So the state rushes this stuff through. So probably the person that made the sign, obviously, it's the person that made the sign probably screwed up on it, which is the state. And what were they going to do? That's why I want to tell this guy. What were they going to do, asshole? They're gonna put the sign up, right? And then so you at least have something to go off of. Well, it's not Central Philly. You know,
We're not trying to go there. We're trying to go to Center
You're
Philly.
going to go to Central Philly. We get it. So, yeah, they're going to have that sign up so at least has traffic some idea, and then they're going to put the regular. They're going to redo the sign and have the one that's properly spelled.
That's actually a great point because like it wasn't misspelled. Like the state didn't misspell it. The guy putting a sign together who could have been like an 18-year-old fresh out of high school just misspelled it. You know,
Right.
Then the sign gets wrapped.
Normally it is. It's
The
a
sign
kid-
gets wrapped and delivered, so no one else even puts eyes on it until it gets all the way up there.
until you actually until they unwrap it and they're like, oh fuck. Well, now what do you do?
yeah.
You got guys out. That's what you know what. That's what. Let me touch on this because this is one of the things that piss me off. People want to criticize construction so much with every little thing. You see me going do you see me going to other people's work and be like, oh, you're doing that wrong. Why is it like that? Why? I don't fucking know. I'm a construction worker. That's why I don't fucking know. That's why you should just mind your business. For TikTok videos, oh, look at this sign. Oh, way to go, tax dollars. Shut the fuck up. I can't stand people. I hate people, man. I really do. No, it's like, it kills me. How many times do you criticize for little shit? Why is it taking so long for the 295 directing to get done? Because you don't know what the fuck you're talking. You don't know what you're looking at.
Yeah.
That's why you don't know what you're looking at. All you see is a misspelled sign. You don't know all the people involved. Yeah, there probably was a lot of people involved, and it probably was spelled right. The paperwork was probably submitted right. The state made it wrong, and when you get out there, now you got 10 guys out there, traffic detail. What are you supposed to say? Hold on, they misplaced a letter.
Yeah.
Nah, we can't put it up tonight. They don't
Shut
wanna
the road
fucking-
down.
Yeah, they don't want to fucking know that.
Stop the presses.
So I guess the better idea would have been have no sign and have complete chaos and people not knowing where they're going.
Yeah.
And again, okay, so they screwed it up. They'll be out there probably this week at night with night work to put up a
It's
new
not
one.
a hard fix.
No,
you
they're
don't
just
have to
gonna make
replace
it-
the whole sign. You just take the, you
Can they just
switch
replace the
T-
letters?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. We have these signs that we make up like for whatever road detour or whatever road closed ahead, follow detour. And we must have put, I don't know, 50 different roads on this sign already, you know? So it's a simple fix. I mean, when I go to the sign place, LC, what's up,
Right.
LC? They I just sit there and wait. They're like, oh yeah, just hang out for a minute.
Yeah,
And
they
in
did-
2 minutes it's done.
Oh,
And
okay.
They got a whole sign. Yeah.
Well, see, even simpler fix. So
it really is.
It'll get fixed. It's just,
Yeah.
it is what it is. Just shut the fuck up. You're like, all this shit going on in the world, you're worried about Central Philly sign for 95 South.
All right, let's get into these reaction videos.
All right.
He's waving them on.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, you gotta have fun, don't you?
You have to.
Next.
Oh my god, that was a snake. Is that a real snake?
I think they tied it to his leg. Is that possible? That dude was boogieing, dude. He was
I'd have
slow
been
as
out
fuck.
too. I'd have been smashing with the shovel. I can't stand snakes.
That might be the slowest guy in the world. Look at this. Thank God it wasn't like a black mamba, dude. He'd be cooked. You ain't gotta run fast. You just gotta run faster than that guy.
I might be able to beat that guy in a race. I'm into my new videos now that I've been watching are people getting scared when they come around the corner. They're scaring people.
Oh, yeah.
That's my and the people's reaction when they get scared. This is my new like fad right now. I sit there in tears at nighttime.
What's like the biggest YouTube hole you've ever gone in?
You know what? As much as I hate conspiracy theories, they're the ones that I go down, man. Like I'll follow and I'll just keep watching. I'll constantly look for part 2, part 3, part 4, and I'll go down these holes. Now listen, I'm not a huge conspiracy theorist. I'm not saying I don't believe in any conspiracies. Of course I do. I used to, I was in the military. I know how crooked the government can be. I get it. And I'm not saying, listen, let's not bullshit anybody. The government's not out there batting 1,000, right?
Yeah,
I mean, there's shit that's going on that's lies, just like anything else.
Yeah.
But some of these conspiracy theories are like, they just don't quit. Like I just like I'll make up a date. Hey, watch out for June 29th. Okay, watch out for June 29th. You'll see. Be ready. Be woke. Stay awake. Okay, be alert. Now you watch it, you're like, what? And then these fucking dates come and go, and nothing. And then all they need is one. They just need one date to hit, like the lottery. And all of a sudden, they're like, "I told you. See why I told you. I'm warning you." That was the other thing. These videos where they're like, "You better be ready. You got to be ready. Get yourself ready." And I'm like, for what?
Yeah.
They never say what. Like, what am I? Like nuclear war? Like, what's coming? A tornado? Like, what am I getting ready for? Everybody's, and then nobody has an answer. No. I respond on these things all the time. What am I waiting for? And no one responds.
You respond?
Oh, 100%.
Dude, you know what I used to do? Oh, dude, I forgot about this until just now. I used to, in the back of trucks where it's like, how's my driving?
Yeah.
I used to call and compliment the driver.
Nice.
Every time.
That's great.
Like, this guy's... He's putting his blinker on at the appropriate distance. His best top 10 driver I've ever driven behind by far. And like these companies be like, are you sure it's the truck number 107? I'm like, yeah. Oh my God, he's gonna be very happy to hear that. Like it must have been like some jerk off, driving.
Right.
Not the best driver.
Never gotten a phone call like this before ever.
We were gonna fire him.
Right. Yeah. Right. So you just say this guy's job.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is So. Yeah, that's one of the rabbit holes I go down very often are these. And right now, I'll tell you my biggest rabbit hole is Jaguar Wright with all this Diddy and Jay-Z and all this stuff going on with like, oh, dude. And I follow it. Jaguar Wright is doing nothing but just dropping dimes. Like if she had a bag of dimes, she puts the camera on and just goes like this with the bag and turns it over. And she's dropping names. She's telling stories. And I got to be honest with you. I believe a lot of it, and I'll just keep watching her and watch her. It's fascinating. I'm curious to see what comes of all this. This whole big P Diddy, Jay-Z, Beyonce, all this shit. Chris Brown, all these guys.
P Diddy's cooked, bro. Wow, you consume some shit, dude. Like when I get in the holes, they're like animals fighting.
I get
I can't stop. I'm like, well, what? I wonder if there's any like elephants against giraffes. That's just fucking.
No, that's not the one I go down.
Yeah.
That's the holes I go down.
Yeah,
but yeah, I get down some.
I get lost in that shit, dude.
You'll be watching Jaguar right tonight.
Yeah, if the Jaguar is
on
fighting
TikTok.
a cheetah, I'll fucking watch it. Oh, the porta potty. That dude's just like, fuck it, I don't care.
He's like, what the
Whatever.
fuck? All right, so here's
Stop, slow, paddle.
the golden rule. You never mess with anybody in the Porta-John.
Nah, it's an unwritten rule.
That's the unwritten rule.
Yeah.
Like, you don't mess with people in the Porta-John.
What are some other unwritten rules?
So, kids and
Because
wives...
there's a lot of unwritten rules in the union.
There's a lot of, like, so obviously ball breaking is one of the biggest things in construction.
Yeah.
Like, it gets you by the day. But, like, the golden, I guess the unwritten rule is no wives and kids when you're breaking balls, That the other one is Porta-John. You don't mess with the guy in the Porta-John. It's just don't go tipping it over or anything like that. It's just not. You just don't do it.
It's not
because that's grounds for fight. That's grounds
Yeah,
for
yeah,
getting hit in the
yeah.
head with a shovel. Yeah.
Yeah.
If one gets tipped over and I come out blue with poop on me, somebody's getting hurt. Again, 100%.
Could you imagine, dude?
No.
Holy
no, somebody.
shit.
I'm running my truck into people probably.
Yeah, I'd be-
before I leave, I'm definitely getting 2 in the blue that
Yeah.
day. Yeah, it's gonna go down that day. But
Oh, if you work through lunch, you leave at 2:30.
yeah,
Unwritten rule.
yeah, should be.
What else
They
we
like
got?
to push it till 3. No,
No, dude, fuck
an
that.
hour.
Yeah,
I'm supposed to get paid an hour
yeah,
of time and
fuck
a half.
that.
Yeah.
yeah. I don't play. Yeah, 3:00, dude.
Yeah.
No fucking
No,
way, bro.
no.
Yeah,
No.
yeah. Give me that time sheet.
Right. Exactly.
I'll fucking write it. All right, our Reddit question for Construction 101 segment. I was watching an episode of Drugs Incorporated, and they were interviewing a painter who used meth so he could stay up. Is it just certain trades where there's an issue of drug use in the industry, or is it an industry-wide problem?
I think it's industry wide. I mean, as a myself as a recovering alcoholic, it's before when I drank and stuff, that's all we did. I mean, you're spending more time with these people at work than you do with your own family. So a lot of times after work to decompress, you go and grab a couple beers at somebody's house and you talk about the day. It's kind of like to get you're venting, you're getting shit off your chest. The old blue collar guys. People don't remember Hamilton, the West End, when it was a Columbia. That was a working man's bar. There wasn't even there was one time where it was poo-pooed to bring females in to sit at the bar. If you brought a female in, you sat at the table and you ate. They didn't sit at the bar. It was a blue collar man's bar. People, all kinds of walks, construction and everything, go in there and bullshit and cuss. Now it's, well, watch what you say. There's somebody at the bar.
Yeah.
It wasn't always, when it was a Columbia, it wasn't always like, it wasn't always like that. The old West End.
West End, dude, they've been cool way longer than most places, though.
Yeah.
They're still cool,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
you know.
Yep. But this is a common problem in the industry. I mean, if anyone who's ever worked night work knows that there is
Night work sucks, bro.
There's stuff floating around. There's either people who are drinking.
Well, it's lonely, right? I mean, night work is a lonely fucking place to be, dude.
It is.
You're awake all night. When you're working, you're not really talking to anyone. Like you could be surrounded by 50 guys and you're not communicating really with anyone. You're
and that's not
jackhammering,
that
there's loud stuff.
And that's not to give an excuse for these people
No,
that are.
no.
Like, I don't agree with it. You shouldn't be doing a
just trying to set the stage,
Yeah.
for people who might not understand it.
But you're right. Like, you're
Yeah,
out there for
yeah.
long periods of time. They'll tell you, like, on Friday that, hey, you're going to nights on Monday.
Yeah.
So now all of a sudden you got to adjust to this. It takes a good week
Yeah.
to adjust to night work. So, these guys, people get desperate and they go out there and they'll do whatever. They'll take a pump of Coke, meth, drink. The old
I think
time.
it's more mental than it is. I think more people do it to ease their mental frustration or whatever than they do it to like stay awake or use it as a drug for like
Probably.
physical performance. I really do, because like I said, like you are lonely like when you're working, like those nights, for example. You're working, you're leaving your house at 5:00 at night. You're working all night. You're getting home at 6:00 in the morning.
Right.
You're going to sleep. You're waking up at 2:00 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Like who the hell's home?
Right.
And then you're right back to it.
Yeah.
It's a
And
bad,
imagine
dude.
if
Night
you are
sucks.
somebody that has a legit problem. If you're an alcoholic or an addict, probably a lot of your use is after work, right? You're probably maybe that to get you by the day. So most of your heavy stuff is probably coming at nighttime, and then all of a sudden you get switched to nights. So
Yeah.
now your mind is already and your schedule is already on this one thing that you're doing. Now it's getting mixed in with work, and yeah. So I've seen it. Like I've done it over the years where coming in hungover. God, the old concrete guys used to have beer in their cooler that they would
Oh,
take.
they still do,
they would
bro.
sit down.
Yeah.
They'd sit down and crack open a beer, and
they still do.
and then get back to work, and then but it is a problem. I mean, yes, it is a problem in this industry, and the biggest problem is we already have a dangerous job. We're out there with traffic and cars.
That's
and people
part of it too.
Yeah.
That's part of the mental thing too. Is
Yeah.
it's dangerous, dude. I got hit by a car that was just rubbernecking. We were standing out there. It was like we were in like, I guess the lay down yard area, which was a road, and a car was like rubbernecking and took his side view mirror off right across my arm. They just didn't even pay attention. I mean,
Unbelievable.
It's
Yep.
a dangerous job. You have a 36-inch cone protecting you from 80 mile an hour.
Right. Thousands of pounds.
Yeah,
Right.
thousands of pounds driving. It's like,
Yeah.
it's a dangerous job. That plays into some of the mental stuff too.
And if you do have a problem, if you do have an addiction problem, if you do have an alcohol problem, get help. Don't be afraid to ask.
Yeah.
Recovery is possible. I'm living proof of it. I was 4 years sober, white knuckled, and I relapsed, and then now I'm currently 10 months sober.
That's awesome.
So it's possible, and it's possible to live life without the putting this poison in your body. But if you do need help, there's a lot of unions that offer it. We're trying to currently, I've talked with some people. We're trying to get like more of a program.
Yeah.
With the union.
That's a great idea.
To try to get these guys the help they need. Where maybe even possibly give this guy 30 days, let him go get fixed up, and then give him his job back.
Yeah.
Let's see how it goes, something like that. Because I believe in second chances too.
Yeah.
Not
Well,
everybody.
that holds people up. Is like,
Yes.
what's going to happen with my job?
Because you feel like if you go, oh my God, if I go get help for 30 days, I'm going to lose my job. I'm going to lose this. Well, guess what? You might lose your life if you keep doing what you're doing. So, go get the help. Ask for help. There's plenty of hotlines out there. There's plenty of numbers you can call. There's people you can touch base with. You can even instant message me. I'm more than willing to give you direction and
Same
help
here.
you.
Yeah. Look at this, dude. Construction workers are more likely to die of an overdose than workers in any other occupation.
Yeah.
Forcing the industry to rethink its approach to safety. Look at the. I found something else too. I want to bring it up here. Watch this. Construction workers are 7 times more likely to die of an opioid overdose than workers in other industries. 7 times more likely.
You know why too? You know how many times we roll ankles, twist knees?
Yeah.
How many people do you know have
Gets into
gotten?
that,
I
yeah.
am 44 years old. 2 years ago, I got a complete right hip replacement. At 42.
Yeah.
How many guys you know have had shoulder
sciatica
sciatica or shoulder problems?
Oh yeah.
And then they get put on these pain treatments, and before they even know it, they're hooked on these things.
Yeah. Well, look, 3 out of 4 injured construction workers are prescribed a narcotic painkiller.
Yeah.
Construction workers have the highest proportion of heroin-related overdose deaths. Construction workers represent 25% of fatal opioid overdoses among
25%
all workers.
is all workers.
The whole entire working world.
25%. That's a
of
lot.
construction. That's a problem, dude. So what's like? You want to talk about how did you 10 months ago end up seeking help?
Yeah, so I'll share a little bit of my story. Drinking was a big problem for me. Was a big part of my life for a long time. I started when I was younger, in my teens. When I went into the military, it kind of just excelled. It was like putting gas on a fire. All we did in the military was drink. I mean, when I mean excess, like I can't even I know people have college stories, and our stories would put them to shame. It's like we drank to excess, but it got to be a problem. Probably if I didn't get sober right before I had gotten when I got married right in the beginning for that first 4 years, I probably wouldn't be married today. Mm-hmm. And then I kind of fell off. It was just, things happened. COVID happened.
So you were clean for a while?
I was clean for 4 years.
I didn't even know that.
From 2016 to 2020. I had white knuckled.
Wow.
And then it but I don't suggest anybody white knuckling. That's just that's kind of just quitting with no 12 steps, no treatment, no therapy, no nothing. I highly suggest it's not just about putting the substance down. It's about addressing other issues in your life. And that's kind of where I went. A lot of stuff where my kid living 3 states away most of his, for all his life. My brother passing away when I was 26. That stuff is the stuff that, you bury. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of like the military taught me that. Like, you don't complain. You don't show weakness, right? You just keep on going. And eventually it does. It wears on you, and it mentally and physically. And, I got to the point where I had started drinking again, and I was actually drinking where I wouldn't get drunk. I could drink and I wasn't affecting me. So then I would drink an excessive, when I started drinking, like in the morning, I would drink an excessive amount. Like I would do 12 Surfsides and 2 airline bottles of Sambuca.
You were drinking in the morning?
Within the first, oh yeah. The first, like on the weekend, Like when I had my food trailer, I would do shit like that, and that was just to get going. Well, when you pound that much right away, it might not hit you for about an hour, all that alcohol, and then you black out. Then you have blackouts, and that's what kind of started happening. So when I told my wife, you know, it was becoming a concern again with family and my wife, and I had said, you know, well, if it gets to be, you know, to this point, I will check in somewhere, and it got to that point. So I just admitted that I couldn't fight it, and that's basically what it is. Just stop fighting it. Don't fight it no more. You know what I mean? Just put it down and get yourself the help and get away from it, because it was dragging me down. And as soon as I stop and get right and start doing the right thing, going back to church and stuff like that, it's life changing. Everything falls into place. But yeah, my share, that was, but it can make you a very strong person. I made it when I shared it. I went to a meeting not too long ago at RCA where I went to for recovery, and I got to share my story with the patients that were in there. I got to go back and speak, which is one thing that I always wanted to do, because if I could help one person, it means the world to me. And one of the sentences I put in there was power. Power can come from things that we had, even if what we had made us feel powerless. It's pretty deep.
Yeah.
So, again, I'll say that one more time. Power can come from what we had, even if what we had made us feel powerless. So I learned to channel that energy and with my addiction and my problems and use it for good, using that as a power to move forward and, work hard and be a good father and a good son and a good brother and a good husband, So, yeah, I mean, is it tough? Sure. You get around this time of year. I mean, who doesn't want to go home and light the grill and have a beer? I mean, it happens.
Yeah.
I just can't do that because I don't know how to have just one.
Yeah.
And I recognize that. And, not everybody's like me. People can go home and have 2 beers, 3, and whatever, and be done. People can go out every once in a while and have a couple drinks and have a good time. I'm not capable of doing it. It's just, once I start, it's off to the races.
So, all right. So you've been in and out of recovery, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
You've been fighting it for a while.
Mm-hmm.
You ever feel like a juggler?
Yeah.
And
It's actually a good term.
yeah, gotta eat better. Gotta be a better husband.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta be a better father. Can't drink. Can't
Right.
drink as much. Blah blah blah. Gotta work hard. Gotta do this. Gotta do that. Podcast.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you stop eating good, and the next thing you know, you're drinking a fifth.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know
It's
what
like
I mean?
you're right.
Like once one ball drops, they all kind of
It's
drop.
kind of, yeah, we're always kind of, right. Yeah. We're always working on, if I've learned anything of being married, is we're always working on me.
Yeah.
My wife's perfect.
Yeah.
She came in this like little glad, like this display, and it's like, oh my God, look what I got. And me, I'm like the construction site that ain't done yet. Like, are they ever gonna fucking finish that? Jesus Christ, when's that gonna be done?
Yeah.
So I mean, but God bless my wife. She's helped me. She's been nothing but I gave her every reason to leave and walk away, and she didn't. She stood by me, and that meant everything. And my kid was getting older, and he recognized what I was what was he was starting to recognize.
Yeah.
And he's proud of me, and to hear my 18-year-old son say he's proud of me, that's and he sees the difference. That's all. That's right there is enough. For
That's
me.
got to be a gut punch, man. When your kid.
I wished him his happy 18th birthday while I was in rehab.
Yeah. Ugh.
And that was horrible. Yeah. But here I am now.
Yeah.
Going to his graduations, having a party for him this weekend. He's going away to boot camp. I'm going to get to see all this and not be fucked up.
Yeah, it's great. That's great.
Yeah.
And I know I've had people I was real close with that I know the guys at the business agents really stuck their neck out for them and helped them out with just hooking them up with other guys that are in recovery, that are in construction. It's like a big community, like a family. Everyone kind of wants to see everyone else do good.
I mean, it used to be if you went to rehab or something 20, 30 years ago.
Yeah, you're a pussy.
It was poo-pooed on you.
Yeah.
Oh, you're a junkie. Yeah. You're this. You're an alcoholic. You can't handle your liquor. Blah blah blah. Now it's like I'm a firm and strong believer in recovery out loud. Yeah. Recover out. Be proud of yourself for what you're doing, because not everybody can go through it. Mm-hmm. Not everybody makes it through it to the other side. I've lost, I lost my brother to an opioid addiction. I lost, I've seen friends, family, they drop left and right, and it's sad. But it's possible. It's possible to get the help. And, you know, so, again, I can't stress it enough. If you feel you have a problem or issue, don't be afraid of it. Don't hide from it. Get the help you need. Reach out to somebody and, you know, ask questions. That's the first thing. Ask questions. You know, it's because it's a lifestyle change. It really is. You're trying to change something you've been doing for X amount of years, and that's not easy.
Yeah, it's a mind change, you know?
Yeah.
It's a total mind change. So, cool, man. Thanks for sharing that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's cool. All right, dude.
Yeah, man.
Yo, we got a great interview coming up. Guys, stick around.
JJ.
Jay Campanella, man.
Good guy, man.
Dude.
One of my favorite people.
He can talk. He's open. He's honest. He's graphic. And he talks all about his journey with addiction and recovery. And it is, you got to hear it.
Yeah.
So I highly recommend, if you're interested in the topic at all whatsoever, stick around, check it out. It's good stuff. It's really good stuff.
I agree. Yeah, definitely watch JJ. It's going to be a good one.
Thank you guys for all your support. Like and subscribe, share it, whatever.
Yes, thanks for the support.
Yeah.
Definitely give it, share, like, follow, tell people, get us out there. Let's I don't know, maybe we'll hopefully we'll do this. I hope this catches on. It seems like it's catching on.
I hope
People are
it does
liking
too.
it. Yeah.
Shout out to New York laborers.
Yeah, New York laborers.
Gonna give us a follow at some point.
Absolutely. So yeah, if you're a part of a union and you think you like this, mention it to your union. Have your union follow us.
Yeah.
I mean, who the hell knows where this will
Yeah,
go?
send shit to us too on social media, man. We'll talk.
Yeah, give us some
we'll chat-
questions
we'll chat it up.
on my page or even on Two in the Blues page. You know, put some questions out there. So many things you'd like to hear us talk about.
All right.
All right, brother.
See you next week.
See you on the next one.
Deuces. What's up, guys? Thanks for sticking around for the interview. Here with the pride of Labor's Local 172, Jay Campanella.
I don't know about the pride now. Come on. What's up, Steve? How you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Good. Hot day today at work.
Brutal.
Brutal. It was. It got really hot. Like after fucking lunch, you could just feel the heat coming on.
You know, you and everyone on your crew flips me the bird every time I pass you.
That is. Have you not realized that is the Bernardo wave? That's what we call that. So if you're getting flipped the bird from us, that means we fucking like you, buddy.
All right.
See, that's what it means.
I get a double bird too sometimes.
Yeah.
That's good.
That means you're double liked.
All right, so tell me about yourself, man.
I was, I guess, going to be a chef when I was younger. I did that for a very long time until I got out of cooking and got into the union. That came all about when I had kids, but we'll get into that, I'm sure. Recovering addict, jerk off with a big mouth. I guess that's about it. That's all I can
Beautiful.
say.
Fit the mold.
Right.
So recovering addict, yeah. One of the big themes this week is the correlation between addiction and construction.
Right.
So what do you think came first, the chicken or the egg? Like, does
my-
construction make the addict, or do
No.
the addicts come to construction?
The addict, I feel the addict is made within you. Today, right now, with 12, 11, 13 years, something like that. My son is what? My son is 18. So like 11 years, 12 years clean. I know, and I've been around it multiple times. We work construction. I know that one pill, one little line of meth, one little line of coke, one shot of dope, I'm done. I'm a whole different person.
Wake up the beast.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's what it does for me. Now, you know, there are, again, you know, I am a very big advocate of NA, but I can't go to NA because I do smoke marijuana, and they don't like that. But if I don't smoke marijuana for 2-3 days, I'm not dying or sick, or I'm coming to your house to fucking steal wire or fucking copper out of your house.
Did you do that?
Oh yeah, I stole from myself. There was a long time in a run where I would be taking money out of my 401k, and like nobody. It was the only way to get around
Your annuity or your 401?
my 401.
You have a
my,
separate 401k?
I have a separate one
Cool.
I have my own from when I cooked through, not through the union, and I would pull money out of it because nobody would see it. My wife wouldn't see that until way later.
Yeah.
So, you know, I was a full-blown addict, man. Don't worry.
Let me, so would you say, is it fair to say that it takes a certain kind of person to work construction?
Yes, it does.
Right.
It's a very hard physical job. And within that hard and physical job, there's a lot of dangerous turns you could take. That's where I was going with this before I got distracted. Thanks for reminding me. Because there are people who never did drugs in construction and then got hurt in construction, and the doctors prescribed them Oxycontin.
Yeah.
And then 2 months down the road, when the doctor stops the prescription, they don't understand why their back hurts or they're throwing up or their eyes are tearing or no. Well, you're addicted to Oxycontin now. You just don't realize it.
They say 75% of construction workers who go to the doctor with injuries come out with some type of opioid.
Well, that's why when I go to my doctor, my dentist, they all know my whole. I'm very open with my backstory, Steve. I don't care. I'll tell anybody. I don't care. My kids know my whole story.
So, all right. So we established it takes a certain kind of person to work construction, right? It's long days. You're waking up super early. It's constantly.
I like getting up early. I'm an early person.
Yeah, sure.
Right.
But it's a grind, and
It's
you don't
a terrible
you don't
grind.
get any pats on the back. You don't get none of that. You know what I mean? It's a certain kind of. You have to have an edge to you. You have to know how to get through a day.
Yes.
You know, and so would you say that those traits in the people that work construction are similar to maybe some of the traits you've seen in addicts that you know along the way who may not be construction workers?
Absolutely, because when you're at the bottom and you wake up the next morning, dude, and you're sick, the only thing on your mind is, what the fuck am I going to do to get what I need not to be sick? Because at that stage in addiction, you're not trying to get high no more, dude. You're just trying not to be sick. So you finagle and think of stuff and steal and rob and cheat and lie and fucking do whatever you got to do to get that drug. Kind of like in construction, we need to bust our ass and get done, and we need to put in 300 feet of whatever, and it's got to get done in that day, and we need to figure the fucking way to do it, and that's what we do.
So, all right. So let's start at the beginning. When did you first start using drugs?
I was 11 years old when I started smoking marijuana. That was my first introduction to drugs, I would say.
Did you like smoking marijuana
I do.
at 11? When you were 11?
I do not drink. Never drank. That was never nothing. Even younger, like alcohol, beer, never did nothing for me. So I was always the DD because I didn't
But an
drink.
11-year-old doesn't naturally, like, you're not just, like, you liked getting high right from the very beginning? Or was there somewhat, like, was there some type of validation? Was there some type of, like, people, like, thought it was cool? Like
No, it was
what made you do it a second time?
Actually, it was with one of my friends and my uncle, and my uncle's friend was the first time I smoked, and then the second time was me and a couple buddies, and then from there it was just.
You didn't have, like, that, like, fear that most 11-year-olds might have?
No, because I was already smoking cigarettes too. I started smoking cigarettes at 10,
Okay, so how did you start smoking cigarettes at 10?
stealing them from my dad.
And just sneaking them by yourself?
Yes, sneaking them by myself.
I'm trying to figure out what, like, the attraction was. Because, like,
Curiosity.
yeah, okay. But the second time, the third time,
The second and third time was I liked that.
because you got lightheaded as hell and
It's not bad. I liked,
you didn't feel any different the next day.
No,
Yeah.
and at 11 and 12, we had already been drinking. My parents had a bar. I'm stealing cigarettes. We're stealing little. I never liked the way drunk made me feel. I did like the way marijuana made me feel. I loved the way everything else made me feel, but didn't like the person it turned me into. That was the problem.
All right, so 10 years old, you're smoking cigarettes, still haven't stopped.
No, I still had 2 packs a day, so I haven't stopped. I roll my own.
11-year-old, you're smoking weed,
Yes.
and you're doing it for your own satisfaction. It's not to
It's not
Not
for,
to fit in.
No,
Not for
nah.
anything. It's just you were curious.
I was curious.
You liked it.
I enjoyed it. Like cigarettes.
Did you
know?
feel cool?
It was like cigarettes. Like, I see everybody, my parents smoking.
Yeah.
Everybody in my
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
house smokes
Yeah,
cigarettes.
same.
Right.
When
So
I was
like,
young,
all
yeah.
right. And they always said don't smoke cigarettes, but like any kid, when their parents tell you don't do something, of course you're gonna fucking do it. You're curious. So I was curious, and like cigarettes, I enjoy it. I don't even know if it's so much as the satisfaction of smoking as it is just the routine of smoking that I enjoy. I smoked pot. I got high. Like people say they don't get high the first time. Like I remember sitting on my fucking literally right down the street, literally right over here at the house at the corners where I got high for the
On their
first time. Yeah, behind the old Wawa.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was on Liberty Street. Actually, I was on 13th Street. I was on Fairview Avenue also. I was at a house party on Fairview Avenue. The first time I got high, the first time I smoked, I was on Liberty Street.
I was right here on the
All
corner
right.
of fucking
Fairview
and
Avenue,
Third.
baby.
See, it's the
kids
back
on.
street in Hamilton. And we did it, and like I remember sitting on the couch, and I was high, and we were laughing, and we were giggling, and then it wasn't like the next day we did it. It was like a couple days, and we got together, and I had some pot from my uncle, and we put it in the bong, and we smoked it, and it was, and then from there on in, it wasn't an everyday thing back at that at that age. It was when we got it, when we could do it.
All right, so how did it progress to shooting dope?
Oh, it just went from, the progression of the drug took a little bit of time because like in between like 11 and when I was full blown, there was a little bit of
How old were you when you were full blown?
Like when my first OD was 18.
When did you start?
Probably dope would probably be 16, somewhere around 16.
God damn.
Because there was like, in between and there was coke in there, that you got to remember I'm 50, so drugs were a lot easier to grab back in them days. I don't know how to explain it. It was just different, I feel. And
well, there wasn't as much awareness.
That's true.
Yeah.
And there was some coke in there in my younger years, and then we got into high school, and I still remember the progression of it all. Like we would go to Philly because that's where we went. We didn't go to Camden. We went OTB.
Over the bridge.
Over the bridge.
Yeah.
You knew what it was last time. And I remember going, and we were in the beginning was we went to Lee and Indy, and you got weed and you got some coke, and then we found out about crack, and I don't know if you know what woolly bangers are. That's when you put a little bit of marijuana in a blunt and you fill it with crack and you smoke it. It's a wool banger, it's called.
Oh, woo banger.
Wool.
Oh, we call woo bangers.
Wool, we called it. All right.
Okay.
So then it started with that, and we used to smoke a lot of them. And I remember one guy came with us one time, and he bought a little bag. He bought 3 bags of heroin, these little blue bags. And we were like, we didn't know nothing about it. Not that we didn't know nothing about it, but we weren't fucking with it then. So I was probably like 16, 17. But we were smoking a lot of crack. And if you never smoke crack, it fucking like coke. It speeds you up.
Okay.
And when you're done, you fucking Jones. You're jonesing. So he came with us, and he smoked a little bit. And then when we got done, and we were all fucking, he said to us, he was like, here, man, just try a little, I remember this day plain as day, just try a little key bump. And he took the key and put a little fucking bunch on it, and we all took a little hit of dope, and it was like magic, dude. Took away all the fucking jonesing, made you feel fucking good. And then it started, we would get a little bit of crack, we would get crack, and then get a little bit of dope. And then it was, well, we're never just going to do dope. And then before you knew it, that's all we were doing with dope. That's just how that was the progression of it. I remember the progression, how it all started. I tell that a lot, how that progression started, because I remember it plain as day.
So you were 18, you overdosed. Was that a wake-up call?
No. I'll tell you a good story about my overdose. And I'm going to get chills because this is a God honest truth story. I was at my parents' house that night, and I got what's called a Mallory Weiss tear in my stomach from throwing up from doing dope, and I was bleeding into my stomach. and I threw up in my shower with my mom downstairs. And when she came in, there was literally big chunks of fucking blood in the shower floors. My mom literally said it looked like I threw up my liver. Now my mom's a nurse, so they took me to the hospital. And I remember telling the doctor, you know, my parents knew, but my parents were old school and they denied that their kids all fucked up, you know. Not no more, but I made a lot of amends with that. And I was talking to the doctor, dude, and I passed out. I told the doctor I drank a hot deuce of Heineken because I didn't tell nobody I was doing dope. And when I was out, I remember laying on the table. And when I opened my eyes, there was a bright white light. And my grandmother came out of the light, God rest her soul, was dead for like 2 years. So she grabbed my shoulder, Steve, and she said, "It's not your time." And she grabbed my shoulder, and I jumped up out of the hospital bed. I was out for like a day, and I jumped up out of the hospital bed and woke up in the hospital.
A day later?
A day later.
Holy shit.
But
And that wasn't a wake-up call?
that was not a wake-up call. Now, I did have clean time in there, okay? And then I had clean time away from the dope and the meth and all that other crap. You know, I might have had a little bit of pot here and bullshit like that. Then I got hit by a car riding my bicycle, and they put me on Roxaset, and that was it. That was just like giving me.
Yeah.
That was just like handing somebody bags of dope that was a dope addict. Because at that time, I wasn't aware of my problem. So when I went to the hospital, I could still probably get away with getting pills and not and thinking to myself, "Oh, I could take these and be all right." You know, I'm not where I'm at now. I'm not. It took a long time and a really, really hard, rocky road, and 3 relapses and 2 rehabs, and literally my last run when I came home and the shit had hit the fan and the wife had all the fucking bags packed and the locks changed on the house, and I couldn't talk to my kids, and I couldn't fucking talk to her, and she got to my parents and told my parents that if they talked to me, they couldn't see my kids no more, and my parents wouldn't talk to me no more. That was it, dude. It was just me and my fucking guys I was running with in the dope house. And that rock bottom, sitting at this dope house saying to myself, this is what's going to happen to me. I got a job that pays me fucking great money and great benefits, and I'm going to fucking waste my life away. And that was it, dude. It was that rock bottom. That's the biggest thing I think in recovery is that, you know, it took a long time for my wife to see her part. Not that anything's wrong with that, but her enabling part. Like, it took a very long time for my mother to see her enabling part. And I don't say that in a bad way, but what I say is, like, if you're a parent, like right now, if my kid was doing drugs, like, it would be a different situation. It wouldn't be.
You wouldn't stick your head in the sand.
Exactly.
What would you do?
I would fucking sit him down and tell him, if you're not going to stop, you're going to get out, like it was told to me, because it's back when I was younger, it was a stigma. You know, the town was this big.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I was a drug addict. It was a stigma, and not a lot of people liked that. And no, I don't really give a fuck. You know, I don't care who knows that I did drugs, because I proved a million fucking people wrong in this town, because I was told my whole life I was going to be in jail or dead by the time I'm fucking 20, and here I am fucking 50 making 3 times more money than the people who told me that. I guarantee it. So, to me, I would sit them down and talk to them, and if it's not going to work, they're going to get out, dude. And as much as it would break my heart, without that rock bottom and them hitting that wall, you're never going to stop it. You're not patting them on the back and letting them live there and paying for their phone and paying for all that. That's not going to change the addict.
Wouldn't it scare you that their rock bottom would be lower than yours?
No, everybody's rock bottom is different. That's what you got to remember.
No, I mean like 6 feet lower.
No, what are you going to do? How am I going to, you know, I raised my kids with the acknowledgement of, they knew from, you know, my oldest came to rehab to see me on a Father's Day when he was 4.
I'm really curious about that last. Do you remember that last night where you hit rock bottom?
Yeah, I remember it plain as day.
So you were married. You had one kid who was 7, 8.
I had Noah, so hold on, 18, 10, 11. So he was 6, and Aiden would have been 3.
So you were. I mean, I imagine you were not in the house as much as you probably should have been.
No.
For those-
I did a lot of hiding in the house if I was there.
Yeah.
Cellar, outside cleaning.
Yeah.
Right.
Walking the dog.
What? Right. I didn't have a dog then. I
Yeah.
was blowing the leaves out of my gutters.
Yeah.
That was my excuse. 'Cause I
10,
lived in
10
the woods.
o'clock at night.
Right. Right.
All right. So, so you're kind of like, your wife's got to be pissed at this point.
She was. Don't worry.
Yeah.
She.
Kids, maybe the 6-year-old starting to kind of look at you
He
a little
remembers
sideways.
He remembers
Yeah.
it. 'Cause me and my sons are very open, and we talk about it.
So the last day, then, your wife's fed up. Your 6-year-old kind of knows what's going on a little bit. He's trying to connect the dots. You have a 3-year-old who probably doesn't know anything
Nah.
going on. So take me through that day.
Dude, I came home.
Was it a typical day?
It was. Yeah, I came home from work, and that was it.
This was like your typical day.
Yeah, I came home to work to the whole surprise of, that
Okay.
she was done. This was the end.
Were you using at work?
Yeah.
So you wake up and first thing?
First thing, as soon as as soon as I got up, I got high, and I went to work and got high at work and came home.
I wonder why that was the last straw that day.
I think she realized that without her putting her foot down and saying, "This is my end," I was never going to end, or I would just go into either death or jail.
That was the first time she said that. All them years.
No. That
How'd
was
you
the
know
first
she was
time,
serious?
That was the first time I came home and locks were changed and clothes were outside and signs were on the door and don't fucking come to the house. I'm calling the cops. Don't call your mother. Right. She had it all. Like this just was. It did just in my mind, like we talked about, and it just wasn't that day she decided. This was something she was planning
mulling over, yeah.
Right. That day she decided to put in action.
So you go to rehab, and this time it's for real.
Yes.
How'd you know this time out of like all those rehab stints, all those?
This one I went in with my eyes wide open. Like I said, it was my rock bottom. I personally was done. So it wasn't just going to rehab to please everybody else. It was, I'm going to rehab for me. But this rehab, I went in with the intentions of doing what I needed to do to get clean, like, participating and paying attention and not just fucking lounging around and being like, all right, I'll be here for fucking 14 days and I'm out. Yeah, because I think that my last one I did almost a month.
Did you go right back to work?
Right back to work.
Okay. I always thought it was good just to stop the bleeding for a minute and just recalibrate.
Just to
just get the fuck away from it,
and open and just let your mind rest.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, did you do rehab?
I did. Yeah, I went to New Hope
Did you?
in Marlboro, New Jersey. Yeah.
I spoke at New Hope a couple of times.
Yeah, it was a state-run facility. My roommate's feet stunk, bro. Stunk.
Dude,
Unbearable.
they stuck me in a room with fucking kids,
Yeah.
and they caught them smoking, and they were going to take the.
Oh
fucking...
yeah, dude. Smoking was a fucking pain.
Dude.
You know what? They didn't take your cigarettes. They took your lighter.
They caught the kids smoking, and told them it was me and 2 other kids, young kids in the room, and they caught them smoking in the bathroom and took the phone privilege. They were going to take our phone privileges away in the room. Right. And
You
I'm
had
like,
phone? I didn't have a
Yeah,
phone.
yeah. They
I
would
had
give
nothing,
us.
dude.
They would give us phone privilege on a Friday.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
And I walked in the room after they said that, and I shut the door with the kids, and I said, "I'm gonna tell you right now, guys, just so you know that on Friday, if I can't talk to my kids because you got my phone taken away for smoking in here, I'm gonna fucking knock your teeth down your throat." I said, "Just so you know that." And they went and told the counselor that, that was them and not me.
Yeah. I went to Seabrook before that for a stint,
Seabrook.
and they were doing an experimental no tobacco
Oh
while I
God.
was there.
How nice. How'd that work out?
Bro, they were selling them $5 a cigarette in there.
No shit. No shit.
I was spending so much fucking money in rehab.
That's like
dude.
fucking being in jail, dude.
$5 a cigarette. Oh my god, dude!
I gotta tell you, man, without cigarettes in rehab, I don't know.
I was spending more money in rehab than I was before I went.
Yeah, just trying to buy fucking stogies. Fuck.
It's out of control, dude. Yeah, it was a bad idea. They have since
Yeah,
reversed it. Yeah.
You can't do that, dude. Like,
Well, you can do it, but everyone has to buy it. You can't have people selling cigarettes for $5 a cigarette.
I'm gonna tell you right now, dude.
Or
There's
any
no,
amount.
I don't think there's no way I could have kicked the dope and cigarettes at the same
No
time.
one could. That's why
I
they
would-
were
I
paying
would
paying
fucking-
$5 a cigarette.
Right,
Fucking
dude, I would've-
jerk-offs, you know?
I don't know if I could have did that.
Yeah, ridiculous. All right, so you got into recovery post rehab, and how long were you in recovery?
I did NA for a long time. I did NA back when I was 18 and then stopped. And then when I got back into the rehab, the first rehab, out of that I started doing NA, then relapsed. I've been in NA for in and out of NA for a while.
Okay.
The last time, my last run from the lighthouse on to now, I probably did NA for a solid 3-4 years before I started smoking marijuana again. Probably. So
4 years.
yeah, probably about 3 years. 3 years.
Were you nervous about it when you first, went to, when you decided I'm going to smoke pot again?
I talked it over. Me and my wife talked about it for a long time, and we talked and talked and talked, and I wasn't really nervous. I think she was more nervous, but then just seeing it was just marijuana. It's
Yeah.
like cigarettes, It's.
Yeah.
I actually think it's harder for me to fucking not smoke a cigarette in a day than it is for me not to smoke a joint in a day.
Yeah.
To be honest.
What do
'cause-
you think the best part about programs like NA or AA are?
I
how do you think they work for people?
I said it before. I am a big advocate of NA, but they look down on me now because I smoke pot, and that's not how it should be. We're all in this game together, in my mind. We're all addicts / alcoholics, and even if I'm smoking pot, I shouldn't have to come in and be looked down upon because I'm here with a problem just like you are, dude.
Yeah.
You're no better than I am,
Right.
and I'm no better than you are.
Right.
We're all fucking addicts. But it couldn't. They couldn't get past it, so I couldn't be there no more because they didn't want me there, and it was making me feel awkward.
Yeah, that's weird. They don't
Right.
want you there.
Right.
They insist on hugging everyone that walks through the door
and then,
because you made it out alive. So that the goal should be, don't die.
right because
Yeah.
because like you
Not
said,
don't.
you're
yeah,
here,
yeah,
you made it
yeah.
out. Let me give you a hug, but
Yeah.
you smoke pot. I don't want to talk to you.
Right.
Well.
Yeah.
So that's why, and that's I did it. I was there for a little bit when I was smoking, and it was always a little bickering. Then I was just like, all right,
I think that's my gripe. Not my gripe. I wouldn't have been able to sustain this amount of non-drug use if it weren't for a program like Narcotics Anonymous.
right.
But I do think to some extent it's unrealistic to ask people to never have a sip of beer, or never have a. Not saying that I only sip beer. I drink, but I think I just think it's unrealistic, dude, to ask a 20-year-old kid, 21-year-old kid to never drink again in his life.
I agree.
And I think that's why the success rate is really so low for people that actually don't do it forever,
And I agree, but
It's a
see,
daunting task,
The alcohol is a lot different for me. Like I said, I never drank, so I couldn't. I know that I'll never do another pill, another dope. I know I can't do that no more.
Yeah.
Now, for some people, it might be the same way with alcohol. One sip of alcohol might fucking throw them right over the edge. It's a matter of the way I look at it now. Like I explained to my kids, is to be honest. You can do what you want. If it's not hindering what you're doing in your life, paying your bills and all that, then really it's not a problem in my mind.
Right.
Because I know, we all know there is no successful drug addict.
No.
There is no successful
It's
drug
all in
addict.
your head, right? I mean, it really is. It's all in your head. I think I was saying to you before, the other day, you go in there and maybe you have 6 months of clean time, and then you have a moment of weakness. You have a couple beers with your family or whatever, and all of a sudden everyone looks down on you.
Right.
And it like that, like if you're strong in the head, and you know, like, I'm okay, you can do that.
Yes.
The problem is so many people aren't okay in the head.
Yes.
And the problem is that they do
good
that. Yeah, they do that. They feel like shit about themselves because everyone's making them feel like shit about themselves. They feel all the same guilt and shame they would if they were injecting heroin. And then they just say, fuck it, I'm just going to do what I want to do.
I see. That's a good point, because I tell a lot of people what, in my mind as an addict, what makes me an addict is lying. So, like, you know, if I lied, like when I lied to my wife and I got away with it, it was like, I can do it again. And I know that. So I try to be open and honest on all levels, because I feel like once you start your cycle of lying again, you're just going to fall right back to where you were.
Yeah.
Because, you know, how many times did I do one pill and lied about it? And, you know, it went on for a couple days. I didn't do nothing. And then one day a pill came by and I was like, you know what, dude? I did that 3-4 days ago and lied about it to my wife and got away with it. Let's just fucking do it again. You know, and it'll work.
Yeah.
So I agree. It's a lot of mindset. It's a lot of, to me, it's a lot of being open and being honest and not worrying about having to chase lies. You know, because, you know, as an addict, we would fucking roll all kinds of lies out,
sure.
you know, to make the story.
Yeah. So, no program for your recovery.
No program no more.
I asked you before how you filled the void, and I think that's not the right question.
Okay.
I think the right question is, how do you feed that beast? Like, how do you feed the beast that was born in the 10-year-old boy who smoked his first cigarette, and you feed him enough that he doesn't come looking for more?
I'll tell you, because through, you know, I did my 12 steps in NA. I don't know if you ever did your step work.
I didn't get to.
All right.
Yeah.
So I've done my step work, and, you know, I told you before, I've been sitting in the cars where guys blown fucking lines of meth out, and they'd be like, "Oh, you want one?" And not that I hesitate, I say no, but in my mind I hesitate, because in my mind I replay. All right. Let's think about that day.
Yeah, let's run this story.
Let's rewind my tape and run the story, and if I did that line, I know where it's going to take me. No, thank you.
Yeah.
That's how I stay refreshed on
But the
that.
beast is still there.
The beast,
right?
the beast is with me, Steve, until the day I die. I know
Yeah.
that. I know that.
And it might rear its head when you wake up without a cigarette. It might rear its head when you fuck up a meal you're cooking.
I just, at this point in my life, I know that beast is in me forever.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, dude, he comes up here and hey, why don't we, relax, dude. I'm beyond that now. You know, I am at the point where the beast is never going to leave, but I can control my beast.
How?
Because I've been to my rock bottom and I've seen my end and I've seen my darkest.
So you just duke
side.
it out with your beast in your brain.
That's it. That's
Wow.
that's the only. Until you make peace with that, you're really never gonna. You know, I can't change what we can't change what we did in the past. Every fucking bullshit thing I did in the past, we can't change. I can only go back and make amends. And if you don't forgive me, then I'm sorry. You know, I made amends with it. If you can't make amends with it, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So that's the stuff you got to remember. I can't change my past. You know, I have a lot of people that say to me, "Would you change your life?" And I tell them all, no way, because every fucked up move I made in my life, no matter how bad or dark road it brought me down, it made me the person I am today. And, you know, I'm not the best guy in the world. I don't ever claim to be that, but, you know, I have a big heart and I always try to put people first, and I always try to do the right thing now. That's my thing through my, you know, I hate to always say it, but, you know, I try to keep my side of the street clean now through that's what I learned through NA, through doing my step work. You know, I don't lie and cheat and steal and do all that no more. So I don't go home with a heavy heart or a fucked up mind, except for shit from work, not my beast talking to me.
Right.
Right.
So what do you say, like, to the to the guy listening to this who's fucked up, or the guy listening, or the girl listening whose husband or wife or brother or sister's fucked up. Like, what? How do you take the first step to like?
I tell
to get into that mindset.
I've talked to many people, and I tell them all the same thing, dude. If you're gonna hold their dick when they're pee, they're never gonna change. I told you before, I'm a big advocate of rock bottom. I'm a big advocate of slamming the door shut, and you might let him out and he might go OD, but you gotta shut the door, because if you're just gonna fucking stand there and hold him, he's never gonna change. You're not. And to the addict out there, there's really nothing you can say. No matter how many people talked to me when I was doing drugs, I was not gonna stop doing drugs until I was ready to stop doing drugs. That's just how simple it was.
You know what got me was, I had to come to a place where I believed in my heart that I didn't have to live the way I was living. Like, I had to come to a place where I was like, there's a path out of this.
Absolutely, yeah. You can see, you can see the light on the other side.
It's hard to see it though when you're in the middle of it.
But you knew it was there.
I had to really, I had to really wrestle with that a lot before I got to that point. Yeah.
So now, how long was it for you? How long has it been clean for you? Yeah, the time just fucking rolls on, doesn't it, buddy?
I say 9 years.
Yeah, good.
Yeah. But it was like that first beer I drank after 2.
Scary.
Not for me. It was like a lot of the same bullshit that, like, like my parents were pissed. Like, my friends were like, like, it was scary for more people than me, and I had to like.
But
I just had to.
But you know why that was, don't you?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Of course.
All right.
Well, it's because I was running around for 2 years like, oh, you can't ever drink again in your life.
Well, it's not only that. Yeah. It's not only that, because, I did the same thing through NA about marijuana. But what they're nervous about is they're nervous about seeing the old Steve.
Yeah, of course.
That's what they were nervous about, and until, my wife was the same way when we talked, and she was a little nervous, and she came to grips with it, and they seen a different side of us. They looked at it. We stole a lot of time from them. That's what we stole from our loved ones, because all they did was worry and cry about us when we were out getting high. So that's why they were nervous. I don't really think, my wife really didn't even bitch and moan about the NA part of it. She was just like, just as long as it's not going to lead down that road again.
Yeah.
That's all she was saying about it.
That's fair. Yeah, I got a hard time with that. Like, I probably should have done some step work. I got a hard time, like, forgiving myself for stuff.
Step work is good. Back when I first got in, NA was a lot different. I seen the different phases of it. And the step work opened my eyes to a lot of stuff. It did. But do you have to do the step work to get clean? No, you don't have to do the step work to get clean. The step work helps you organize your filing cabinet in your head, is the way I look at it. It puts shit in my filing cabinet in order and in perspective. And the shit that I don't need in there, the trash, I throw away. Back to, I can't change the past. So boom, that gets thrown away. That's what step work did for me. Step work showed me how to be honest. That's my best way of putting it. Steve, I'm on the job site. I'm loud. I'm boisterous. I'm not in charge, but I got the biggest fucking voice on the job because that's just who I am.
Yeah.
And it's not because I know everything. It's just, that's me. And if I'm driving on the road with the work truck and I hit something, I'm going to say, fuck, that was me.
Yeah.
That was me.
I'm honest about that stuff.
That's the man I am now. That's what step work taught me.